Hello dear viewers. The Minister of Justice continues to familiarize you with the most significant regulations adopted during this week. Let's start with the Presidential Decree on additional measures for accelerated entrepreneurship development in the Aral Sea region. According to this decree, from January 1st, 2022 until January 1st, 2031 for entrepreneurs from the spheres of local industry, agriculture and service in the Muinak region, income tax for individuals and companies turnover tax and social tax will be 1%. Tax for the use of property, land and water in the amount of 1% of the amount charged to the tax filed. Until January 1st of 2025 for entrepreneurs in the Tuprakala, Yangarik, Yangibazar districts of the Khorazm region, income tax, land and property tax levied on legal entities is reduced by 50%. Raw materials imported for their own needs, not produced in Uzbekistan, are exempt from customs duties. The establishment of a grace period that is 5 years for land tax on land occupied by newly built orchards, vineyards and mulberry groves in Khorazm. For Karakal, Pakistan, investment projects provided from the state budget have been determined in the amount of at least 50 billion sums. In the period from 2022 to 2026 for 98 mahalas in the Khorazm region, lagging behind in socio-economic development and with a high level of unemployment, 250 billion sums of loans will be allocated with the framework of programs for the development of family entrepreneurship. And 150 billion sums will be allocated from the state budget for infrastructure development. From January 2022 to 2027, in the Aral Sea region, small business will be reimbursed 50% of transportation costs associated with the delivery of necessary equipment for the enterprise and the delivery of products of their own production to other regions. When exporting products produced by domestic exporters, transportation costs associated with the transportation of goods to the Caspian Sea are fully covered. The President has signed the law on insurance activities. This law defines such concepts as insurance risk, insurance rate, deductible, insurance payment, cross-border insurance, and reinsurance, and other definitions of insurance activity. The law defines the range of rights and obligations of professional participants in the insurance market, such as insurers, insurance intermediaries, adjusters, actuaries, insurance surveyors, and assistants. The law also established the specifics of information exchange in electronic form between the policyholder and the insurer. Now, the insurance contract between the insurer and the policyholder is concluded in electronic form. The law comes into force after 3 months from the date of its official publication. The next act on the consideration is the decision of the government of Uzbekistan to establish a branch of the University of Pisa in Italy in Tashkent. In accordance with the decree, a branch of the Italian University of Pisa was established in Tashkent. The branch trains highly qualified specialists in geology, conducts research in the field of geology and puts its results into practice. Training at the branch will be carried out from the 2022 and 23 academic year on a full-time basis in Uzbek, English and Russian on a contractual basis. Graduates of the branch will be awarded a diploma from the University of Pisa. Admission parameters are determined based on the need for specialists. The Cabinet of Ministers also adopted a decision on measures to develop family entrepreneurship in fruit and vegetable growing and viticulture and increase the share of Deccan farms in agriculture production. By this decree, 200,000 hectares of acreage reduced due to the low yield of cotton and grain will be returned to the reserve for farmers and clusters in the 2025 year. The land returned to the reserve is leased to citizens through electronic selection in the amount of 0.1 to 1 hectares for vegetable growing, melons, legumes, oil seeds, potatoes, and $100 million will be placed in banks in the national currency at a rate of 10% for 10 years with a grace period of 3 years. Loans to dehqans and farmers are issued up to 100 million of sums at the rate of 14%. For small intensive orchards and vineyards, a grace period of 3 to 7 years is allocated. For melons, legumes, oilseeds, potatoes, and vegetables, up to 2 years, with a grace period of up to 3 months. Credits are granted on the basis of written recommendation of newly introduced assistance to the Hakim. It should also be noted that the President signed the law on publishing activities. According to the law, the subjects of publishing activity are independent in their activities. Censorship of manuscripts and materials prepared for publication is not allowed. It is prohibited to publish and distribute publications and publishing products that undermine the honor and dignity or business reputation of citizens, which in their content can be considered as interference with their policy. The sphere of publishing activity is regulated by the Cabinet of Ministers and the Agency for Information and Mass Communications under the Presidential Administration. According to the law, the subjects of publishing activities are publishing house, author of works, customer, the distributor. It is also determined that publishing activities are carried out in a notification manner. Publishing products are distributed on the basis of contracts. The law comes into force on the day of its official publication. The next act allowed the driver to use their phone through headphones. The President signed the law on amendments and additions to the Code of Administrative Responsibility of the Republic of Uzbekistan in connection with the liberalization of administrative penalties for certain offenses in the transport and financial spheres. According to the change, drivers can use the phone to control transport through in-ear headphones and equipment that allows them to talk without using their hands. If the drivers exceed the set speed limit, a fine is applied less than 5 km per hour from the fixed speed. Now the driver is not required to carry registration documents, power of attorney, insurance if he has a passport or identity card. This procedure will come into force on March 1st, 2022. Also, the responsibility for installing a monitor display in the front of the car interior has been cancelled. In addition, the amount of the fine for illegal receipt of foreign currency was set in the range from 10 to 20 minimal amount of salaries. Previously, the fixed amount was 20. The fine for citizens for transporting passengers by car without a license is set at 30 minimal amount. Previously, it was from 20 to 100. These were all the documents we wanted to share with you today. The full text of the above acts can be found on the website lex.uz. Find out all the latest legislation on our Telegram channel, Legal Information. Thank you for your attention.